What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin. Today we're doing another game review. This time we're reviewing the 6th Star Ocean game in the series, Star Ocean The Divine Force, which came out for the PS4 and PS5. Developed by Tri-Ace, published by Square Enix. And originally, this is an action RPG, by the way. Originally, I wasn't going to get this game, but, Tri-Ace apparently is going bankrupt and pretty much begged their fans to go out and buy this game. Alright? So, even though I've owned a crap load of Tri-Ace games for like over a decade and never beat any of them because I never really enjoyed them that much. Even like, some of the more popular ones like Valkyrie Profile and Rat Data Stories, I couldn't really get into them, but you know what? I thought, hey, I'd throw them a bone, buy this game, which this game is rated teen for teen. Action RPG. It's an open world game where you can do side quests, you can do crafting, you can craft weapons and items and stuff like that, right? The game is about, first off, the game gives you an option to choose either to prioritize frame rate in battle or optimize the graphics, right? So obviously for this game I chose frame rate, and boy, the graphics at times did not look good. There were times where our character's hair, where strands of their hair would be pixelated and would remind me of Final Fantasy 13 and how the hair was in that game. Most of the time the hair looked good, it was normal. So the story, after you choose which option you want to go with, you get to choose your main character, right? Which the two main characters are, where you can choose to play as, is either Raymond Lawrence, who is, an off-worlder from Fergald, who is space cargo captain, who's part of the Lawrence merchant family, which pretty much runs the planet Fergald, which is anti-space federation, right? Or you can play as Aster 4's princess, which is Princess Letitia, right? And I never played Letitia's story. I only played Raymond's. I like to play as male characters, okay? Right? And the story is, from his point of view, is that you're supposed to be transporting cargo to your planet for gold when your ship gets pretty much blown the F out by a Federation battleship, right? Which I forget, what was it? I can't remember its name, right? And you crash land on the planet, right? And you meet up with Princess Letitia and her knight, I forgot his name. Albert, right? Who she uses 2 swords and he uses 2 chakram, which chakram are like bladed, like ring blades that are like throwing weapons. It's like a Indian weapon from India, right? And they see your crash escape pod and offer to help you find your crewmates in exchange for some of your technology, right? Which he doesn't do, right? Which is the Star Ocean the Star Ocean franchise is like a mix between like Star Trek and Final Fantasy, right? And where like you have like the UP3, which is like a Federation law where like if you're on an underdeveloped planet, you can't show like your advanced technology, right? Which is kind of like the um, like what the main directive from the Prime Directive from Star Trek, right? I'm sorry, it's been a late. I've been trying to beat this game for 3 days straight, and I hardly got any sleep. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you uh, you go on this journey on her planet on Astria 4 to find your crewmates, right? Which is Elena, who's a cyborg, and Chloe, who's like the helmsman, right? And you're on this planet helping Princess Letitia uh, solve problems throughout her kingdom, right? Which you have like other party members join your team, like Midas, who is like steampunk steampunk mage. This chick who's like a dark elf ruler of a dark elf kingdom called Nephilim, who is they're like boyfriend and girlfriend pretty much. You have Nina, who's like the only healer in your party, right? And like later on, you get this cyborg guy and this Federation officer, right? The main story on the game is that you. It turns out you were transporting something important called Duma, which Duma is like this combat drone that lets you fly around the map in short bursts. She can I'm calling it a she because she had a girl voice. She can scan items. She can help you in combat, either with doing a special move called what was it called, the the vent, or not vents, I can't remember. She can do like, you can do a special attack which is different for all the different party members, or she has a thing called the Esther cage, which heals you and provides support in combat, right? So most of the game, or sorry, half the game, you're on Oster 4, right? Where you're helping her kingdom against this other kingdom called the Empire, which wants to, like, take over the planet, right? And it turns out there are aliens called the Virians, right? Which are purple-skinned, horned humanoids that are helping the Empire. And it turns out it's some like intergalactic plot where they want to force. There's this thing called Scorpion that wants to turn people into like cyborgs, like this guy, right? And they go there. The bad guys went to Astria 4 to basically recruit the Emperor, who wants to take over Scorpion and force everybody in the universe to become cyborgs and join the Scorpion network. Whereas, regular Scorpion, despite its nefarious name, gives people the option whether or not they can want to choose to become cyborgs, right? And join the Scorpion network. So it's not until, like, for me, most people say, like, you can beat the game in 30 hours. It wasn't until 30 hours in the game where you actually got to go to different planets, right? And usually, like, I think there's, like, well, like, one was a space station, but, like, you go to, like, 2 other planets, and and when it's just to go, like, one dungeon, and then come back, and then you go to another planet, and you fight in another dungeon, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Which, at first, I thought this game was going to be just like Star Ocean 5, which I didn't beat that game, but it's like most of that game you were on just the one planet, right? Which turns out that this chick is the granddaughter of this guy, right? Whose name's Emerson, right? Yeah, so I'll go on my likes and dislikes. I liked that the game actually. I like the gameplay, except for the AP gauge. That shit is fucking annoying. The gameplay is mostly good. I like overall, I like the character designs. I like the fact that, unlike with that fucking game, when you equip a new weapon, it changes the weapon skin. And this game, from compared to the other Star Ocean games I played, like the third and I played 3, 4, and 5. Right, didn't beat any of them. I went close to being 4. Unlike this game, they actually innovated. They actually added new shit. Right. Here's the problems with the game, and this probably had to do with the fact that they were running out of money. This game felt very like they must have rushed to the fucking development of this game because there was fucking glitches. There was glitches like you get trapped between like uh, rocks and shit when you're flying around, like you land somewhere awkward. There's glitches where during cutscenes, shit in the background would fucking flash. Like if like this game total seizure warning, right? Um, there was glitches like where like um, you would go to a new location and you would see the character models like float through the roof of a location. I was like, what the fuck is that? Oh my Christ! And then for the last cutscene, right, of the game where our characters are like walking through this sunlit field, this guy JJ was like cloaked like the fucking Predator during that scene, right? Yeah, and there was like there were lots of fucking glitches like that. Oh my god, holy fuck with the glitches, right? Other problems with the game is the difficulty. The game would be pretty easy, and then like you go to fight a boss, and then would get hard out of nowhere to the point where like halfway through the game, I was like, fucking, I put it in easy mode. Even on easy mode, there's some bosses in this game where it's hard as fuck. Like the Admiral guy, I forget his name, Admiral Reganold or some shit. He like it. I had to look up how to beat him. He apparently has a VA gauge like you, but his VA gauge makes it so you can't hurt him until you take his VA gauge down to 0, and then he'll fall to the ground, and then you can hurt him, right? But depending on like what fucking difficulty you are, you're gonna have to do that multiple times. So it's like you have to kill that guy multiple times before you can even damage his fucking um, health meter, that was fucking bullshit. Other bullshit in the game is you have to fight the multiple bosses, right? And not even they change forms. Right? It's like the same fucking character model over and over again. Uh, like the boss in the game, you have to fight him like multiple times. Like I think you have to fight him like 5 times, right? And like he changes his forms, but like holy fuck, I have to fight the same guy 5 times. What the fuck is this, Seymour from fucking Final Fantasy X? I think Seymour, you only had to fight him at least 3 times, man. And he wasn't even the final boss. Here you have to fight the final boss like 5 fucking times. That shit was annoying. And then there's the puzzles. Some of the dungeons has puzzles. And because of the fucking glitches in the game, I would get stuck in puzzles. And I'm like, what the fuck, is this a glitch? Or am I too stupid, right? To figure this out. Which I would have to look up shit. Right? And then there's the fact that, like, you have to go, like, and it gets really annoying during the dungeons where you have puzzles, because like you have to go to different rooms, right, in a dungeon, like try to figure out the puzzle, right? But like the fucking enemies respawn, so you have to end up fighting them or running away. It's like, that was fucking annoying, right? But yeah, that shit was fucked. Yeah. But overall, I did like the game. I was very surprised that the game did just take place on the fucking fake fantasy world planet. I did like the cast of characters, and the voice acting was endearing. But, like, holy fuck, was it weird that, the character models of our main characters had this anime look to them, but, like, some of the character models looked like they were from Western RPGs, more realistic, and including some of the NPCs, right? So it was this weird fucking mix of, you have people who look like fucking anime characters versus people who look like real people. And, like, Raymond's brother looked like he was like his character model looked so fucking bad, like he was like like he was created through like a character creation for like an cyberpunk MMO, right? Like, uh, that was fucking weird. And also, like, what the fuck? Like, this is like the sixth game in the franchise, right? And there's like multiple scenes where you have cutscenes where characters, where you see like spaceships battling, right? You have spaceship battles. They didn't think that maybe at some point in this franchise the player would maybe like to take control of the spaceship during said spaceship battles. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that would have been nice, if we could have controlled like the spaceships during combat or whatever, right? Like, come on. Like, this is the sixth game. I know this isn't Mass Effect, but holy fuck. Maybe, like, look at what other fucking sci-fi JRPGs did, like Mass Effect, Xenosaga, the Xenogears game, and maybe incorporate that. Not like we need giant robots in this game, but it would be nice, if we had our own spaceship, right? And move around, not just like fast travel through the fucking map menu, which is where they fucking hid the fucking side quests. I was trying to figure out for hours, where the fuck do I look up my side quest? Turns out it's on the fucking map menu. I was like, what? Who fucking thought of that? You have a huge menu with all the different options, right? And they hid the fucking menu there. And there's also the skill tree. The skill tree was a little annoying, because it's like, it would have been nice, because like Western RPGs do this, where you're allowed to have, where it lets you auto like complete like the skill tree, where it picks like the best options, right? And so it's like every time you get a new party member, you have to go into their skill tree, set their fucking combat moves, and it's like, holy fuck, they couldn't have an auto option? Jesus Christ, that was annoying. But overall, like, there's too much micromanagement in this game when it comes to, like, menu stuff. When you actually play the game, it's like play the combat, it's button mashing. Like, what the fuck? But overall, I would say I liked this game. It was a decent length. It took me like 46 hours to beat, which, fuck, man, kind of annoying, because I thought the game was going to be only 30 hours, so to play the game, and it kept going. I would get to the 30-hour mark and would just keep going. I'm like, fuck, I thought this game was like, 50, 30 hours. But, like, yeah, 46, that's decent length, right? And I know, like, some people want their JRPGs to be at least 50 hours, 70 hours. Like, you guys are spring chickens. Wait till you're in your 30s, and where you have like real responsibilities. Trust me, you're going to want short games like this, right? But like 50 hours, I call that like decent length. But overall, I like this game. It's not a 7. It's not, you know what? I'm giving it a 6 because all the fucking glitches, right? And the micromanagement with the fucking menus and shit. That was annoying. And yeah, but like overall, 6 out of 10, decent game. So our next RPG review, I'm reading a lot of fantasy novels. This is going to be the next fantasy book review. This is the Vampire Hunter D Omnibus. I'm just going to review the first book, okay? But yeah, for our next game review, we're going to do, because I'm reading fantasy novels, I want to review, I want to play a Western RPG, so we're going to play Two Worlds 2. We're skipping Two Worlds 1 because I have my PS3 set up. I don't want to set up my Xbox 360.